What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai anyone here bringing you another video. So today I wanted to talk about something interesting. So as many people know, Nintendo has been doing lots of different DLCs for Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers being a super popular game, of course. And recently there was the DLC for Peach's Castle and the Hyrule Temple for the N64 stages. Something that we kind of knew about a while back, but we hadn't actually been able to get. And finally we're able to get it as DLC stages, as well as some new Mii Fighter costumes. They're doing ones for Chrom, King K. Rool, what was his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. He's from Tales of Symphonia. I'm forgetting his name, but you probably know who I'm thinking of. One that many people were hoping to eventually act as a DLC character, hopefully. I want to say Lynn or something like that. I'm forgetting his name. It bothers me. But still, really cool character anyway. As well as some other ones. There's also like one for like a honey bear. It's weird. Also a new specific costume that's just an overall fighter costume. They're also making a special version of Samus, which is really just Samus as a whole. It's not even like a unique form. It's not like Samus from Zero Fusion or something like that. It's just Samus, which is interesting. Now you may be wondering, why do I even mention that Samus, for example? Well, there's actually a real reason to that, which is the fact that they even have a specific costume for Samus as DLC makes me personally think that there's a greater chance for a lot of people who were hoping that when the rumor was going around that apparently King K. Rool might have been the winner of the ballot, that there still might be a chance, even though the costume exists, is the fact that, hey, Samus is getting a costume. There's going to be a Mii Fighter costume for Samus, and yet Samus is in the game. Like, everyone knows that. So you have to think to yourself, if that's true, that could be interesting. It's kind of a pointless costume, judging based off of that, but at the same time, it's interesting because of the fact that you have to wonder, what could that mean for King K. Rool or any character, really, because that really opens up the idea that a lot of these characters that already have Mii Fighter outfits, hey, there's no reason why they still can't be full-fledged characters like King K. Rool. And King K. Rool, I really mean this, really should be in. Like, I mean that. I really mean that in the best of ways. I think King K. Rool, we need more villains. We just simply need more villains. We don't have enough. We only have like a couple of villains, and it's just kind of sad because you typically want to have that kind of stuff. I mean, when people think of villains that they want to have, and typically they'll say like King K. Rool or Eggman or someone else that's significant, or even Wily. I mean, people really want more villains, and they usually think of like, what are signature characters that people think of all the time that they want in the game, and those are like, I mean, right there, Eggman, Wily, King K. Rool, those are just a few that people often want in the game. King K. Rool especially, because of the fact that he's Donkey Kong's villain, and he's significant. He fights, he does stuff. He's not a villain that's just kind of like, oh, I operate a machine and I'm kind of hidden all the time. Like, no, he'll actually fight, and he's actually something that like they could develop well. So it definitely opens up that into perspective, that the idea that, hey, King K. Rool could happen. Now, you may be wondering, why was the licensing thing a big deal as well? As many people know, King K. Rool was owned by Rare, which is why a lot of the recent games haven't actually featured him in it. That's why like Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze didn't have King K. Rool, and I mean that, and also just in general because they were trying to establish a new story, but as well as the fact that King K. Rool was owned by Rare. So as many people know, Rare is owned now by Microsoft, so there's all that licensing issue. There's all the licensing issues and all that have to be established. So that's another reason why King K. Rool hasn't been featured in as many games, and that's why it's a little bit harder to get him featured in a full-fledged game. But it definitely opens up the opportunity due to the fact that there is that idea that, hey, they were able to get him back as a costume, so why can't they have him as a full-fledged character? And if they were able to make that deal with Rare, maybe that means that we can get back Banjo eventually as a Banjo-Kazooie as maybe a DLC character. I mean, if they're able to establish one thing, hey, why not establish the other thing? So definitely up for observation, and definitely something to look into and hope that maybe we'll get something good. So that's cool though. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I kind of just stopped there suddenly. I don't know why, but I think that the stages that they've shown off, I think that tournament mode, that's another thing I forgot to mention, very cool, obviously something that people were waiting and hoping for, and obviously with online play now, that's definitely something that people are really interested in, because that was the thing that most people were excited about, is that they were hoping that, hey, we can play online and do a tournament, which is pretty awesome. And just in general, tournament mode was always kind of fun to have, so definitely something to enjoy and indulge in. And personally for me, I like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have tried it out. Personally, when I'm making this video, I actually haven't, but I knew about this, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit and just say cool regardless. So yeah.